These playoffs.
Yeah.
These playoffs.
Yeah. It's been some fun games to watch, especially Dallas and Minnesota. I feel bad for Minnesota because
My God, Minnesota.
So close.
They keep blowing the lead, man. Like, I mean, they have given away some big leads in both games, man, and losing at the wire.
Yeah. But
it's like they can't get a rhythm, man. Like, I mean, they got a rhythm obviously to go run these.
It's just closing it out. The rhythm to close out.
Man, the shots ain't falling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the rhythm to close out. But you know what? If they don't make it to the finals, like we said before, just if they lost against Denver, it's only going to help build Anthony Edwards' story. Yeah. You know, he gets over the hump with Denver, knocks off the reigning champs, but then gets to the semifinals. But then you got Kyrie, and Kyrie's already a champion. Luka's been around for several years. You know, they've touched the mantle. They've been close enough before. So this is not their first time on this stage and this level. So it's like, okay, if he doesn't make it, it's just another notch in his story. That's how I feel. That's how I'm choosing to look at it. Even though I want to see Minnesota get it, which is I've never rooted for Minnesota, even back when they had KG and Stephon Marbury. I never rooted for them like this before. But I'm rooting for them now.
I like that duo, though. I did like that duo. Mm-hmm. I was a fan of that duo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm rooting for him too. It's funny. I've been cheering for him. My son, he going for Dallas, so like we've been against each other.
Right, and then right in the house.
Yeah, right in the house, man. We've been going at it, man. And Luka hit that 3 to win the game, and my son was like, "Yeah!" He was like, "That was fun, Dad." And then went upstairs. Like, that was fun. You saw what you wanted to see happen. Hey, but check it out, man. I saw somebody have a take on this, and it was like that Kyrie's about to cement Luka's legacy. I didn't like that take.
Kyrie's gonna cement Luka's legacy?
That's what they've been saying. Yeah, like Kyrie's carrying him. I think Luka's carrying his own. He's carrying his load. Luka's that team's leader. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's clear to me. Like,
yeah. Emotionally, skill wise. Getting the players involved, doing the heavy lifting. You know, Luka's doing it all. He's doing it all. So, yeah, definitely Kyrie's not cementing his legacy. Of course, he's going to be an aid to help cement his legacy.
Definitely.
It's like he helped with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie hit that clutch shot to help LeBron get a chip. But guess what? That chip's going to weigh heavier on LeBron's resume than it weighs on Kyrie's resume. A lot more weight on his. So it might do the same. So if they're saying in the idea of how it affected LeBron's legacy by him helping LeBron win the championship, that the weight of what it carries for LeBron means a lot more than what it carries for Kyrie, and it might look the same for Luka as it carries for Kyrie. You know, playing second fiddle, and I know Kyrie hates that.
Yeah,
and
he plays second fiddle in both scenarios, but But I feel like his fiddle was a little bigger in Cleveland. You know what I mean?
Huge fiddle. Yeah.
Yeah, huge fiddle in Cleveland. And Dallas is a big fiddle too, but I mean, like, it's gotcha. Yeah, go wipe it off. Yeah. But no, I feel like Luka is, I don't know, man. He just leading, and it's very clear. Like when Bron and Kyrie was there, it looked like 1A, 1B. You know what I mean? Like but Bron was clearly 1A. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's 1 and 2 in Dallas right now, man. Yeah. Like, I feel like this is an older Kyrie, and he's, you know, he having big moments in the game. You know, he did most of his points in the second half in this game too, but he missed 2 big free throws down the stretch instead of being the guy to hit the big 3 down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different. Yeah.
But the weird thing is that, like, it's like, honestly, what does it take to be legendary? You know what I mean? Like, you help carry another legend, and then you're helping to carry another potential legend. He will be a legend. Right. Luka's gonna go down as a legend. Definitely is. Definitely, especially the way they're showing out in this series. It's like, man, what does it take? You know what I'm saying? What does it take to become legendary in this world? To look at it and say your accolades are good enough, your skill level is good enough, you've done enough. Like, how soon do we forget? Like, we have short-term memory. and it's hard to build to build to that legendary status, even after you've done so much. That's
a two-part question for me, because two-part conversation for me anyway, because I want to touch on the Kyrie thing. Kyrie has an interesting career because he will be remembered as one of those guys. He's gonna be one of the legends of the NBA, but will he really be properly ranked? I don't know, because he never really was the top guy.
So here's the thing: like if he
as weird as that is, as great as he is, like, go ahead.
If he wins with Dallas, you got to put him over. You got to put him over KD. And I think in most people's mind's eye, you don't put him over KD.
Yeah.
If he wins one with Cleveland, wins one with Dallas, he's a bigger legend than KD, easily. But most people won't do that. Most people won't put him above KD.
Most people won't. People feel like KD spot solidified. They probably won't. That's the crazy part. But you know what's interesting though? We had these arguments and conversations over a person's place in history all the time, but you really got to wait until their career over to assess that. Like all of this while somebody's still playing it's just too early. Because if you would have asked me when Tim Duncan was playing what his position was in history, I wouldn't have said what I say now. Now that I'm able to sit back and reflect on it and look at it, I say he's the greatest power forward of all time. I wouldn't have said that when he was playing. I would have never let that out of my mouth when he was playing. But once the time goes by and it's like, okay, you're able to come out the moment and not have like your head clouded with being a prisoner of that moment.
But check
like
this
in
out.
Boxing, for instance, people say Floyd was the greatest ever when he was going, but now that we're out of that, we can step back and be like, okay, that was really good, but maybe what Pacquiao did was greater, coming up 8 divisions versus going undefeated. Like you can start kind of assessing it different.
What makes me nervous is this: you come from an era of where people feel like they have to watch the whole thing play out before they can start placing people where they fall in status. Not so much now. I don't think that's the case with the generation now and probably the generation coming in the future. We're quick to call somebody the GOAT while they're playing. LBJ. I know you heard the Paul George conversations before. He's the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like we've gone away from not calling somebody this or that until the job is finished, job is done, and we can step back and look at the totality of everything. They're putting people in places. Oh no, this is the greatest I've ever seen. So this is the greatest. You know, we had to talk with Mike Tyson back in the 80s, 90s, but we kept it in the current. We always looked at Muhammad Ali. You know, that's the guy. That's the GOAT. Yeah. Let's watch Mike Tyson's career still play out, even though we were like looking at him and champion him in late 80s and saying like, yo, this boy is bad. I am Mike Tyson. But I don't think anybody necessarily put him in made him solidify.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Right? So we were still, even though we were still having those talks back then, we were still waiting. But now it's not so much. Now it's they're putting people in places and kicking the legends out, kicking those people who already done the work and saying, nah, he's not the guy. This is the guy.
I mean,
because he's just what I'm saying right now.
But that's a good point that you make. You look at Kendrick Perkins, one of LeBron's biggest supporters. He's kind of changing his tune a little bit because what happens is you start jumping the gun before the career plays out. Then you start getting closer to the end of the career, and then you start kind of reflecting on everything and putting it in perspective. Then you can be like, you know what, maybe I was a little hype in the moment watching that, but yeah, that is kind of bad. He got all his coaches fired. You know what I'm saying? So you have to let things play out. Now he's letting it play out. He's like, ooh, that hurts your case for the GOAT. That's a bad look. But there are other bad looks in everybody's career, but you have to kind of step away from it and let it play out, let it finish. And then once you're not emotionally attached to it, be like, all right. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. In retrospect, that wasn't good that happened. You know, we probably should.
And that's why I feel like we have the more valid opinion when it comes to the greatest of all times, right? Because we weren't MJ fans back in the day. We step back, watch the career play out, and then we can assess and say, you know what? Of everything I've saw to this point, that's the greatest I've ever seen. You know, taking ourselves away from the moment. Because if we were stuck in the moment, we'd be like, nah, he ain't the GOAT, he ain't the GOAT. Nah, man.
We be hating on Mike right now.
Because I would
we stuck in the moment.
Yes, to being stuck in the moment, we'd be like, nah, they ain't the GOAT. But we can step back and say, okay, I wasn't a Bulls fan. I wasn't a big Mike fan, but I can recognize that's the greatest because you take away that emotion. And that's the emotion on the flip side of tearing somebody away from being the greatest because you're so caught in that moment.
Right.